Welcome in, everyone. This is another episode of DB's Best Bets presented by Full Time Roundup, episode 11. Episode 11. It is your host, Daniel Brackett. And alongside me, I have a good friend of mine, longtime friend, Harrison Clark. Harrison, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Fun weekend of footy. More to come. But yeah, not a horrible week for both of us. I mean,
No, it
either
was a
way.
horrible week for
I
me.
mean, well, yeah, maybe it didn't go your way. Mine was meh, which is what it's kind of been on this show a little bit, but that's okay. It was still a good week of soccer. So
It was, and it was a good week for both of us non cards as we had our spraying out bonus bets because there is a certain date you have to post them by, and I can't pick a basketball game for shit. So I'm getting all my soccer bets in before the international break. Ended up making a shit ton of money. You did as well. We both were on Scotty Scheffler, which was a big hit for the boys yesterday. But that is not soccer related. So we will continue here. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. Me and Matt dropped a podcast this morning, Monday. So go ahead and check that out as we preview or recap the weekend action right before international break. Have some fun content coming out during international break that I'm excited to share with you all. And me and Harrison will be taking a hiatus until next Thursday, as betting on international soccer is absolutely diabolical. Will not do it. Will not wreck my record, if you will. But Harrison, let's go ahead and recap what we got for this or recap what happened this weekend. Some good, some bad. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, and let's get into it. So I was 1-4-1, absolutely abysmal, and you were 2-3-1, so not as bad. But let's go ahead and discuss what we had first here. We had Bayern -2. Both took that together, and it ended up being kind of a no sweat cash after the second half.
yeah, when I saw they went down 1-0, I immediately texted you and said, "Oh hell." But hey, I guess this Bayern team is starting to figure it out a little bit because they quickly responded and then went on to blow them out. So yeah, that was nice. A little sweaty at the beginning, but it ended up being a no sweat in the end, which was kind of crazy. And yeah, getting a Bayern -2 win. It didn't always look like it, and then the final score line would just tell you completely different because Darmstadt are very bad, and Bayern maybe are starting to figure it out. So
yeah, one of my leans was Bayern over 3.5. So that first Darmstadt goal was a really nice boost for that. It didn't end up needing to happen at all, as Bayern put 5 consecutive goals in the back of the net. But yeah, they were always going to crush Darmstadt. That was one of the most confident plays I've had in a while, and I'm glad we were both able to catch that together. Now, we also took another game, and it was an absolute disgrace of a performance from the Coys. What were they doing?
yeah, thankfully I really didn't get to watch like hardly any of this game.
I didn't get to watch a single
And I'm
second.
thankful. I'm thankful I didn't because as I was getting the notifications in on the score line, I was just slowly, uh, even more and more disappointed. Yeah, this was a big game for Tottenham. A really good opportunity, especially because we knew Aston Villa were going to have a tough game on the road at West Ham, and they shit the bed, to be honest.
They did.
And Fulham played well, as we always say. They're pesky. So, yeah, I guess from a Chelsea perspective, it's always nice seeing Spurs lose, but wallet-wise, not ideal.
Not ideal. And Matt actually had a really good quote on the show about this game. He said, we thought they're what, West London team Fulham is?
Mm. I don't know the whole
He
geography.
basically said that it's Aston Villa and Fulham are like right next to each other, and he said basically we we thought one West Fulham team or one London team would give Spurs trouble here on the table, but it actually was the other team in Fulham here. Spurs also just lacked that cutting edge. They were in this game if they could just put the ball in the back of the net. But alas, we move on, and just we know that we'll be ready and prepared next time. Now, we also I had a Premier League bet here in the Brentford Burnley game over 3. After that red card, I was rattled. I did not think that this game would go over after that, but it ended up getting to a push. Brentford probably should have had a goal at the death to catch this, but it is what it is. Burnley, I mean, you could only put 2 in the back of the net with basically playing up a man the entire game, which is pretty sorry on their perspective. But thank you for Brentford for fighting back and at least getting that goal to make it a nil bet.
Yeah, I ended up originally playing the lean, which was Brentford money line,
Played
and
that as
then
well.
I
Hurt.
yeah, and then I also played Tony to score, and I
Also
ended up.
pain.
It's funny, like in the first minute, I for some reason decided to cash out Brentford and just play Tony, and then the red card came, and I got. So I was thankful that happened. I don't know, maybe just some sort of blessing. But Tony ended up not being able to score. But yeah, tough for Brentford. Respect to Burnley, I guess. I don't really know what to take from this game, but yeah, glad I cashed out.
Yeah, no, that was probably smart of you, and you had West Ham pick them as well. If we're gonna stay in the Premier League here, and that is a bad beat for you. Another bad beat for you. It feels like now the 3 shows in a row you've had a bad beat.
I mean, I told you the most disgusting play on the board, but I loved it. And West Ham should have won that game multiple
2
times.
disallowed goals.
Two
2.
disallowed goals. I did it. I did end up playing Antonio to score, which
Bang.
the man, the myth, the legend got it done. But
Just had a feeling, right? That's what you
I
said, I'm
did.
pretty sure.
I said something about that guy. But
And the bubbles.
yeah, yeah, the bubbles they were coming out, and that was the motivation I guess that West Ham needed to put in a really good performance. Uh, I agree with the foul call on the last goal. I didn't really get to see the first foul call.
Went off his
Uh,
shoulder. It was kind of a tough one. It was like, is it the shoulder or is it the bicep? And they decided to elect with the bicep. So
the first one I kind of agree with. Looked like Suchek pulled him from behind. Clearly wasn't able to play the ball. So that was heartbreaking because yeah, it was a sweaty pick'em game, and frankly, West Ham were the better team and should have won the game. So good for Aston Villa, I guess. They get a point while Tottenham gets none. That always helps, but yeah, unfortunate, really.
no doubt. And you also had a Luton Forest over. That was a tough one. Um, I mean, I think there was 2 goal line clearances from Luton off the line to not give you this bet. I actually played this very small in a parlay, and it was the last leg not to hit, which was a dagger in my soul. But you know, that was like my Palace Luton over, where there was a million opportunities and no one could just be a hero and put the ball in the back of the net.
Another classic Luton game, getting the late goal.
Classic.
I mean, they're just doing everything they can right now to just somehow find a point. Besides last week against Bournemouth, where they found a way not to. I did end up playing in this game a little wager on a Morgan Gibbs White goal or assist, and he assisted the first goal to Chris Wood. So I don't know. The props were hitting, that's for sure, this weekend.
The props were flowing for the boys.
Yeah, the props have been good to me recently, so hopefully that continues. But yeah, another classic Luton game where they just find a way to salvage a point, hoping they somehow find their way now out of relegation.
Absolutely. And you had a Leipzig cone over here. That was an easy cash. I texted you before the match that I had Xavi Simmons in goal and assist, and it cashed pretty quick for me. And then the over soon after just flew over.
Yeah, it did fly over, and I ended up playing a parlay on this game, which was Leipzig or the total goals 2.5, and I parlayed it with a Xavi Simmons assist, and not a goal or assist, just an assist, which of course boosts the odds dramatically. He was like plus 250 having an assist. And of course, he scored the first goal for you. And we were texting back and forth that, you know, you were set basically. And then he got the late assist on the Openda goal. So that was another big hit for me. And Leipzig, again, dangerous team. When they're going, especially Xavi when he's running it through the midfield, they are very dangerous. So
yeah, and you're gonna hear a lot of these things we took because we had these bonus bets to burn. So just do not be concerned about us. We just had to use these.
yeah,
Now I went back to the drawing board with Ligue 1, and I'm officially just done, completely done with them. Marseille Rennes beat on the hook. Rennes put 2 balls in the back of net in a Marseille team who's been so good going forward. Just I think Aubameyang actually hit the post and won to not get this one over for me. So that was a damn shame, and I think I'm done with this. I ended up winning my coin backs. I parlayed Mbappe to score with the over on Sunday, and that ended up cashing to make me draw me right back into Ligue 1. But when it comes to official plays, no more Ligue 1 unless it's the play of the week for me. I also had Girona Getafe over 2.5, and this wasn't even close. So 1-0 win. I thought Girona was going to do more going forward, and I was very mistaken. So that's completely on me and my fault on that. But our leans did pretty well. Brentford moneyline, like we talked about, was an L because of the early red card. I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, believe that they would have won that game if not for a 7-minute red card from Reguilon and completely lost his head. But Stuttgart moneyline was an easy no sweat cash. I also played Garassi any time goal scorer in this match, and that was also easy as I think he scored the first goal of the game. We also had Galaxy
second
St.
goal.
Louis flew over 3-3 game in the Galaxy St. Louis. I'm kind of dialed in now on
MLS
on
sharp.
MLS. I'm starting to get dialed in. Oh, speaking of MLS, sorry, forgot your last play here. Charlotte Nashville under 2.5, lost on the hook. Brutal, terrible defending by Charlotte, and it was 3-0 at half, or no, 3 goals at
One.
half, and 0 goals in the second half. So we were real close on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte found a way to score, so that's just the difference, really. Not having
Brutal.
another goal in the second half makes it a lot worse. To be honest, I just wish that after the third was scored, it would just fly. And
Exactly.
At least Charlotte getting a result out of it, but it just stays 2-1, so a little sickening there. But yeah, it doesn't change anything for me. I'm still in the
Still
meantime
playing them.
still playing the Charlotte unders.
Absolutely. I'll probably be there right with you in the thick of it. And I also leaned Atletico Madrid Barca over 3. That ended up pushing as Barcelona laid the wood on Atletico 3-0. And then Atalanta moneyline did not play this weekend. So it was a cancel out. Now we do plays for we do not have plays for this week, but we wanted to look at some futures for you guys just to keep your eye on as this season is getting to its tail end now. And me and Harrison like playing futures, so we wanted to at least show y'all some plays that you could think about taking if you wanted to. And first off, we'll start in the UCL with I think Man City money line at even odds is a good play to go back to back here. I think even though they got the shittier end of the draw in the Champions League, I think if they can beat Real Madrid, they should be able to beat or Arsenal or Bayern Munich to get to the final. We're talking about probably the best team in the world. And so I'm pretty confident that they're going to be able to get it done, at least go back to back in the Champions League.
I tend to agree. I'm not going to play it just because Real Madrid are Champions League giants, and I just never know with them. I mean, I think City are definitely the best team left. But something about Ancelotti and those guys in white makes me nervous to play it. Not to mention the winner would play Arsenal or Bayern, and I don't know. It could be just two tough games leading into two tough ties going into the final. I'm just going to stay away from that. But again, I lean City, obviously, because they are the best team left.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
getting a even odds, I think, is still solid. While you can get a team with that kind of caliber um, at plus money.
And we both have a prop here together in the Champions League here with Mbappe as the top goal scorer. You could play this or Holland. I think Holland does tend to disappear in big games, so I like if PSG are going to go far, which they had the easier side of the bracket, they have to play Barcelona. No pun intended on that, but they do have Barcelona, and then they would play. Who would they play? They'd play Atletico and Dortmund. And so if PSG want to get to the final, it's going to be through Mbappe. And as Holland, Kane, and Mbappe are tied, I think Mbappe will be able to carry them to the final. And there we can cash out or let the future ride. So I really like Kylian Mbappe to be the top goal scorer this year as he wants to end his PSG chapter on a good note.
Completely agree. Same logic for me. It's just that easier path, more of an opportunity to get to the final, and more chance to score more goals. So, um, and the way he bags goals in the Champions League is very impressive. And obviously, if PSG are gonna make a run, it's gonna be through him. So, getting him at, I think DraftKings had him at plus 275. That's pretty nice for a
That's
player that
value.
good. Obviously, Holland has the best odds there at plus 130, but with the path, I just think that there's a real opportunity there for Mbappe to rack up some more goals. So, yeah, same sort of logic. Mbappe to lead the rest of the Champions League in goal scoring just feels good to me.
The last UCL play is you having Bayern to advance versus Arsenal, which is a ballsy play. But I kind of like it in a way. It's gross, and sometimes our gross bets are the best bets that we have. Talk us through that one.
I just think with Arsenal, like, are they going to put their eggs all in one basket, or are they going to try to split it up? Because I think that obviously the Premier League race is unbelievable right now, and I don't know. I feel like they have a more of an opportunity in the Premier League than they do the Champions League, just with the kind of teams that are on their side of the tie. I mean, you get Bayern, but then you might get Madrid or City in the next round. So I think there's a real opportunity for Bayern here at plus 100 to get through Arsenal with their recent form. And again, like, we don't know, but the Bundesliga could be out of the question right now for Bayern. Leverkusen just refuses to lose. Doesn't look like that gap's going to be shortened anytime soon unless they start feeling the pressure late. So I think Bayern and Tuchel has a good track record, obviously, in the Champions League. So I think they can find a way to beat Arsenal, and getting them at plus money for a team like Bayern, I like it. I mean, I think that they have a real opportunity here.
Absolutely. No other ties look good enough. I I'm tempted to juice Atletico Madrid at minus 155 on DraftKings. I think they will go through over Dortmund. So if that was better odds, or I guess you could parlay that with another, to advance. That's a higher
Or a profit boost.
or a profit boost. You could use that. That's a good thought there. Now for Europa League, I have Liverpool to win at plus odds. I took it before the season at 3.5 to 1. I took it again with a free bet. I'm fairly confident on this. I think it'll be them and Bayer Leverkusen in the final, and I think Klopp will be able to get the best out of his squad in his last season. So I'm going to go ahead and take Liverpool. You have them as well, which is good to see. So I just, as a Liverpool fan, especially losing the FA Cup, we're going to go balls to the wall to try to win the Premier League and the Europa League, which you took actually both.
I did, or at least I plan to. These are not all official yet, but these are all leans that I have.
We just want to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. But I do I like them in both. I mean, feels kind of like a magical season for Liverpool, and it feels like they could send Klopp off the right way with an EPL title and potentially a Europa League title. And him beating Alonso in the Europa League final would be quite something, considering he could be the successor. So, yeah, I just think Liverpool, something special about this team right now. And I'm gonna ride them in both.
Absolutely. And I have FA Cup to juice for City to win, minus 150. They play Chelsea. I don't think that Chelsea can get a result um, 3 times in a row. So I like them going to the final. And I think they'll absolutely have their way against Manchester United in a Wembley final. No doubt about that. So I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit here at minus 150 and juice that pretty high. Or you could odds boost to get it down, so I might have to look for an odds boost here shortly. We also have one more play here together, Athletic Bilbao to get top four. And I'm going to explain. You put this on the doc before I did, and I loved it so much that I added it to this one for me. Girona are in free fall. On our show, list like I said again, listen to that earlier today. We talked about how Girona has an absolute gauntlet in the season, and Atletico Madrid and Athletic Bilbao are only 6 and 7 points respectively from them. So they play Barcelona and they play Atletico. If those results stand and those teams win, then you could see a Girona outside the top five or top four, even maybe not even top five. So I love this value play at minus 105, almost even odds. And I love what you're putting down here.
Yeah, I like this Bilbao team a lot. They're dangerous, they're fun, and considering that they have a 1 point lead right now over Atletico in that 4 spot, they do play them one more time at the Met, so that'll be an interesting game.
The
But
Met.
Met, yeah. But I just like there's something about this Bilbao team. They're a tough out for anybody, and I think that, as you said, with Girona free falling right now, there's a serious chance that Bilbao can get in the top four. So I like them a lot.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it here, folks. Oh, actually, I have one more thing. I have a Champions League to advance. I forgot about it. I have City, Atletico Madrid, and PSG all to advance parlayed. I think, I don't have a crystal ball here, but if I had to lean hard here, I like all of the three of those at plus odds. So I'd play that. But you've heard it here, folks. Glad you guys got to tune in for another episode. Like I said before, we'll be back next Thursday to just. Is it next Thursday? Maybe it's 2 Thursdays from now. I'm not quite sure how the international break will shake out. Um, but I will be dropping the full time roundup XI of the week tomorrow. So go check that out on the YouTube. If you're watching this video right now, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Give our podcast rating a 5-star, and we will see you on when the domestic leagues start back up. Thank you again.